Hey guys, how's it going? It's Care here with another Exos Heroes video. And in today's video, I want to talk about how I was able to clear the Holy Dragon Grounds without any First Guardian characters. I just thought it would be a fun self-imposed challenge to force myself to be able to complete the Holy Dragon Grounds without any First Guardian characters. Reason being is I thought it would add some legitimacy to a lot of the advice I've been giving, given that just how impactful having First Guardian characters are for the raid. I know raid's a hard piece of content, not many people clear it. So I wanted to be able to show examples of worst case scenario, no First Guardian characters. It definitely takes a lot, definitely takes a lot of gear, definitely takes good characters, but I think it's going to be encouraging to people to be able to see it being beat without some of the best characters in the game for when it comes to the dragon. All right, so let's show the team. One thing I want to point out that this is a 7-minute and 33-second run, as you'll find out later why that is just the damage is crazy. So here's the comp we used. As you can see that there's no First Guardian characters. Yes, there's Anastasia, but she doesn't have her passive here. But these are the teams I use, and then I'll get into why I use only 8 characters. But the big MVP of this that made this possible was FC D.Va, for sure, because for multiple reasons. She's just absolutely insane when it comes to the dragon. So first of all, this is Friday. On Friday and Saturdays are chaos days. So she has Dragon Hunter Blessing. So on phase 2, she does a ton of damage to the dragon. But I'm going to probably take her on machine days regardless, or even on other days, depending, because her damage, I really don't think there's a character that damage per turn does anywhere close to the damage that D.Va does. And she has the extra benefit of being really fast. You can actually realistically use Annie with her. I had a big issue trying to close out the dragon on other days in phase 3, trying to use, I figured Bathory and like Bernadette would be the 2 best damage dealers, but you'll find that a lot of times that they don't crit, they miss a lot because of their hit rating. They just don't do enough damage, because when you actually see them, they only hit for 102% and then 357%. Yes, that's a burst move, but it's just not enough. Whereas with D.Va, you can take advantage of Annie, where you're going to be giving her mana, but she has a 700% move. So, like for example, that's double of what Bathory does, and then she only really ramps up with a ton of mana anyway on your team, and she needs her own, like a ton of her own mana for the burst to take into effect to even come close to what D.Va does. So just it's not damage wise, it's not even close. Then it's nice to just have Bathory as a side character to close out the show with good damage, and she's providing survivability. So okay, the reason why D.Va is so good, first of all, it's Friday, so Dragon Hunter Blessing, she's one of the 4 characters that has that. But the 2 main reasons are going to be her Crimson Strike and her Tiki Time Bomb. So the first one, Crimson Strike, increases her own critical damage by double, which is hilarious. She does so much damage when it comes to this because of that. The next is going to be her Tiki Time Bomb, which deals 700% damage to one enemy, and then also inflicts silence for 5 turns. That doesn't matter. And then after 5 turns, inflicts target with Tiki Time Bomb that inflicts damage equal to 163% of the current health. So I've seen this crit for like 100,000. I've seen this crit for just an absolutely insane amount. Granted, that was in phase 2, so you're getting the extra 250% damage, but it's just absolutely insane how much damage she's able to put out, especially when it comes to the dragon. So she's the main engine for being able to finish it. Whereas previously, I didn't use her, and I was trying to close it out with Bernadette and Bathory, and they just don't. Their damage per turn is just not even close to FC D.Va's. So FC D.Va was the big MVP here for being able to close the show. And then next, I want to get into, lastly, my last point on D.Va is why I really liked her is because she's so fast, which is going to make it really easy to take advantage of FC Annie. Everyone else in this team is not going to be anywhere close to as fast, so it's pretty much a pure lock on who's going to get the thing here. It's not like I'm having a Baraka in here and I have to worry about someone competing over that spot. It's just D.Va's far and away the fastest character, and then the next fastest is Ridley. So, and then a couple reasons why I like Annie. Mainly, it's the giving of the mana. I think that really helps her get going. So she's going to always be doing her A1 and then her A2, and the A2 is the thing that really just shreds. But if she wasn't given that 3 mana, I don't think she would be able to pop off nearly as hard. So I believe this combo, the 2 MVPs of this are the Annie D.Va combo. Now that we got those out of the way, I want to talk over why I used only 8 characters, and then also talk about the turn order of the team, and that's going to explain why we only use 8 characters. So the reason why I only use 8 characters is, but first we have to understand how the dragon goes. He'll go after every 3 turns. And I have another video explaining it all. I'll probably put a card up on it, but it's on my channel about the dragon, where he goes every 3 turns, and then he resets after every phase. So once you beat phase 1, the whole turn order resets again. It starts from the top. After you beat phase 2, it starts back up from the top. But when you're in the middle of the phase, what happens? It's going to be your 3 fastest characters, and then it's going to be your next 3, and then it's going to be your next 3, then your next 3. But how you can manipulate that is to, well, first of all, I should say, because of that, it doesn't really matter how many characters you want. It's just, are they going to be enough to sustain? And you can take advantage of that because you could really make your team dense, and it's just only characters that are good versus you just having to fill your roster. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to fill my roster with 10 characters because it gives me 10 slots. But you'll find yourself, if you do that and they're not really good characters with really good gear, they're just going to waste a turn. And then you're going to be stuck, essentially, like, let's say if Toddy was just a bad character I just shoved in here, it would be like, okay, well, that was just a garbage turn. And then now the dragon goes, is essentially you're using only 2 good turns versus 3. But if I keep the team low and then I make sure that it's just quality characters, then every single turn is going to be at its maximum efficiency because of how the dragon works. The drawback to having less characters is that a lot of these characters you'll notice have passives that they give the team. If you don't have enough, so like people will be like, oh, okay, you could just do 3 characters, but then 3 characters are not going to get, you're going to miss out on like stuff like Garf with the 20% health. You're going to miss potentially out on like Bathory with the 20% health. So then you're getting that. That's the reason why I like having at least a lot of characters, but not the full amount. Then there's another benefit. It's like, oh, what I call it is like staggering. And for example, every 3 turns, I like to have some kind of survivability in here. For example, in this group of 3, I have Rudely. In this group of 3, I have Chadi. In this group of 2, I have Annie. But it's a group of 2, so what ends up happening here is it goes Annie, Anna, and then it goes Diva. And the reason why I have that is because I want to stagger it, because Diva does enough damage to essentially one-shot phase 2, and then it's immediately going to jump to phase 3. So if that happens, how can you make survivability happen for your fastest character? Because if, for example, if you just open up with Diva and she does her Tiki Time Bomb, it's going to completely one-shot phase 2, and then you're going to eat the transitional damage immediately without any setup, without like a Chadi shield, or without, potentially full health, because he just, did his move previously. So the only way to really make sure that you have a defensive move set up is if you stagger it. So you're going to have these 3 go, like usually when phase 2 happens, she only has 2 mana, so she doesn't get to do it. And then you have this go, so Chadi goes, potentially probably going to be her A2 because she potentially already used her A1 here. Then you have the heal here with Anna, but then what will happen is it's going to loop back to Diva, and then Diva will shoot. So you're going to get a guaranteed heal from Anna, and then Diva will go shoot, float up, phase 2 happens, at least you're full health. Ideally, you might have like some kind of leftover Chadi shield here, but that was like the plan for being able to stay survivable into phase 3. And then in phase 3, then it becomes a DPS race more so than a survivability, because it doesn't matter how good your survivability is. The dragon will scale way too quickly and kill your whole team. So it's a balancing act between, you need to be pretty survivable, but really what you need is just a ton of damage for phase 3. And then in phase 2, what you want is you want to make sure you're survivable at the right time. Because you want to have some kind of setup, or like a defense up, or kind of like a health up, something, a shield potentially right before the transition. It's like timing is more of a thing for phase 2. So that's why I have it set up this way. And then again, no first guardian characters, only because it was part of the challenge. I just didn't want them in here. I wanted to see if I could do it. So with that, let's get into the footage. So I totally goofed when recording this. So what I ended up doing is I just hit the record button on my stream deck when I realized like this run might actually be a thing starting in phase 3, because literally one shots phase 2, but didn't realize I had other scenes open. So it's kind of a bummer. But here it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show some of the highlights. I recorded other ones, but you can see the score over here, and boom, finished it really quick. Unfortunately, you can't see any of the things that actually matter. But I do have some highlights from like other things that I think Diva did really well that kind of give you an idea just how strong she is. Okay, so this in this clip right here, I think this is going to show the staggering concept really well, and then also is going to show you just how much damage Diva does. So here we go. We're going to go through the rotation. So this is going to be, but the big thing is going to be taking a look at, because there's 8 characters. What's going to happen is at the very end of the rotation, we're going to get our healers to go, and then we're going to get Diva to come back around. So then here we got Bernadette. You can compare this to the list I had from earlier of all these characters. So then now we get the dragon to go, and then should be our last 2. So yeah, so Annie, and it should be Anastasia. We get the heal. Now we have Diva go. Then now Diva goes 31,000. Boom! It instantly hits well over the 82,000 there with that crit. That crit was crazy. If we can go back and see it here, boom, and then yeah, 42, then 84, and so that's only that, like that's the 700%. Just the damage is like a lot of damage in this game. It's all kind of split apart. I think they just kind of do it as like a stylistic choice, but that's the 700% damage modifier that she has. Yes, this is phase 2 where she's doing 250% more damage in this particular part of the encounter. But that didn't show how much damage the actual time bomb does, and that's separate. So I've seen times where this doesn't crit, but then the time bomb crits, and then it's done like 100k. It's crazy. So this move alone did 120k plus another massive amount of damage potentially if that crits. And then I've tested it too, where like a lot of moves in this game, if it crits, it goes all the way through. If it blocks, all of it's blocked. Like there, you don't get. It's just how it's a visual representation. Once it's blocked, it's blocked. Once it's crit, it's crit or whatever. Whereas in this move, I was wanting to test if this crits, does it guarantee the crit on the actual bomb? And from my experience, no. If this crits, the bomb still might not crit. If this doesn't crit, then the bomb potentially could crit. So it kind of separates the damage there. So there's 2 factors of RNG. I don't know if it's possible for me to test if, because I have her with FC Annie right now. I have no way of testing if the bomb actually has any impact on FC Annie's passive. But I do, obviously the first initial part of the move is impacted by FC Annie's passive. So those are a couple things about it. I wanted to show this just because of how crazy it is. And then the move like this was what was able to push me through phase 3, where it's a big DPS race. Having a character that hits this hard is incredibly important in pushing you through and finishing it off. So hopefully there's a lot of cool concepts here that were discussed and talked about, hopefully help you out with the dragon. And with that, if you guys have any questions about this, please let me know down in the comments below. More than happy to answer any questions you guys have down there. And with that, you guys have a good one. Peace.